Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Big Money Show, brought to you by the team of Big Financial Services. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, and I'm joined in the studio by the president, Glenn Cummings. We're so glad you're joining us today. We've got a great show for you. We're going to start off today's show by talking about how to refinance your retirement. What does that even mean, and what does it mean for you? Glenn, my friend, always good to be here with you.
You know, I only have one thing to say at the beginning of every single show. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. Let's talk about refinancing our retirement.
Yes, and before we dive in, speaking of let's go, we have to point out you're wearing your running shoes today.
Did you actually see those you saw them? I mean, you know, size 16. Hang on.
Oh gosh, oh wow.
16 triple E shoes, you know. I figured I'd wear my running shoes today because lately in retirement, it feels like I'm running a marathon with my clients. Literally, there's so many pitfalls along the way that, you know, you need someone that can toss you a little water as you're running at mile 3.
And cheer you on, right?
Well, cheering you on, of course, you know, so, but no, we've honestly been so busy, right? And I just love wearing tennis shoes. So if you meet with me in the office, I may wear tennis shoes one time, if that's okay, all right?
It's okay, yes.
So, but no, refinancing your retirement really is talking about something called an annuity. Many people don't like to talk about those.
Right, but they have to be talked about, especially when you see how much money have gone into them, even in just the last year alone.
Yes.
I mean, over $380 billion.
What?
Yeah.
$380 billion has gone into annuities. Well, that means they must be working. That means they must be providing some type of benefit to folks.
Right, if it's the right kind of annuity. We need to specify that, right?
Yes, yes. So when we talk about refinancing your retirement plan, we're talking about many of you out there that already own an annuity, okay? So there's a lot of you that have one, and unfortunately, life insurance companies, when they secure your assets, they generally do it with what they call long-term bonds, right? So how the life insurance companies generally earn their money is the yield they make on long-term bonds. Well, the last 10, 15 years, interest rates were so low that a lot of these contracts really didn't perform that well. So that's kind of why there's a bad name out there in some cases for annuities, because you know, people just didn't really earn the kind of returns that they hoped for or expected, right? But now interest rates are much higher than what they've been. Our firm has been absolutely slammed with refinancing, and it's called replacing, actually is the actual name of it.
Right.
Replacing old annuity contracts with some of the newer contracts, because some of those newer contracts are providing substantially more benefits, better income guarantees, better growth to your money over time. Some of them have limited or no market risk at all, and some of them have no annual fees. So you can literally eliminate your risk.
Yep.
You can also get some growth to your money and some tax benefits, right? Some tax deferability as well. And also in some of these contracts, you can have future guaranteed income that you can elect to turn on at any time. So those are very powerful annuities, but a lot of times if you're not familiar with that, and if what I'm sharing with you, you don't have, come into the office, right? Sit down with us. Let's bring all your contracts in. Let's look through them. They're all complicated sometimes. You need a professional that can look through those for you, that works in your best interest. And let's shop around. You know, in a lot of cases, I visit with people that are working with a financial advisor that works for a certain company, and that advisor only has maybe 1 or 2 annuities to offer, right? And those companies push those that make them the most money in a lot of cases. It's nice to work with an independent fiduciary that's also licensed as a life insurance agent through the Department of Financial Services in Florida. So I have the ability to shop a lot of the major carriers. And of course, we always want to check the claims paying ability of the company and their guarantees, make sure they're a nice, safe company. But after we do all of that, we're going to share with you, hey, this plan provides guaranteed income in the future for you, no matter what. Even if there's no money left in this contract, right? You're still going to get a check.
Yep.
Has anybody heard of that? If you're at home and you haven't heard of that, we've got that plan we can share with you, or that annuity we can share with you.
Right.
There are some that can provide money to help you with long-term care costs, and some that do not require physical or an exam, or you to pay annual premiums. Generally, the premium you put in or the investment up front will help cover a lot of those costs. And of course, there's restrictions to some of those. You know, you have to wait 2 or 3 years before you can use that benefit, et cetera, or you need to be in a nursing home before you can activate it. So there's some positives and negatives to those types of things. But the point is that those are still tools that you can have in your tool bag that in the future can provide you with some of those guarantees. And a lot of these contracts, a lot of people say, well, hang on a second, I can't really have access to my money, right? Of course you can. Many of these contracts have free withdrawal provisions that you can have access to your money. So look at what's available. And if you have an annuity, call the office today, because right now, in my opinion, is the best time to look at other options that are available, because interest rates are much higher. Now, here's the problem. Interest rates currently are starting to come back down. So some of these contracts that offer these higher rates of return, higher benefits, higher caps, you know, higher income rider percentages, those are all starting to come down, right? So take advantage of it. It's kind of like you go to the bank to buy a CD a couple of years ago and it was 1%, maybe, 2%. Now they're 4 and 5%. Okay? So you go back into the bank. If the bank says, hey, would you like to buy another 1% CD? You're like, no, I want the 4 or 5% CD, right? That's what the markets are currently with annuities, right? So look at refinancing and or replacing those with better contracts. And here's the last thing, and I know I keep talking here, because this is really an exciting subject for me.
It is, and it's time sensitive as well. So this is
very time sensitive. Many of you that have these older contracts, they may not be really old. They might be a year or two old, right? And you say, well, Glenn, hey, you know, some of these annuity contracts have what they call charges if you get out of them.
Those surrender charges.
Surrender charges, right? Because the insurance companies are guaranteeing you certain things for a period of time. So a lot of these contracts may be longer term, right? But some of these new contracts will provide you with an upfront bonus that may help you with recouping the cost of leaving the old contract.
Yeah, amazing.
And if that's the case, then I'm able to get out of that contract. I'm able to get into one that may provide better guarantees. I want guarantees, folks.
Right.
When I look at an annuity contract, I want to know exactly what I'm going to get. I want to see if the markets crash, if my money's still going to be there. I want to know that if I have an income rider at a certain percentage, that is always going to be there for me in the future. Look at those types of plans. Try to get away from the hypothetical plans that are out there. Let's sit down and look at what is guaranteed, right? So come in the office, give us a call. You know, all you do is you bring in your statements. You can send them to us. We can evaluate those for absolutely no charge and build a plan that may include one that provides better income for you.
Yes, and that's really what it's all about. You know, it's interesting because I think typically when folks hear the term refinance, they think of refinancing their car or their home, and you typically want to do that when interest rates are lower. But because we've been in a higher interest rate environment for a while now is the time before the Fed continues to lower interest rates to see if you could potentially put yourself in a better financial situation. So I know you're offering this complimentary written financial plan, and really what you're also offering as part of this is reviewing those existing annuity contracts. So no doubt folks are going to want to take advantage of that, right?
Yes, and they should take advantage of it right away, because like you said, with lowering interest rates, it's like now you can buy CDs at a higher rate, right? But many, many people say, God, I wish I could have bought these at these higher rates for the last 20 years. Right? Well, you haven't been able to, because now the rates I see are starting to come down. So look at what's available, take advantage of it today, and your time is short here, in my opinion.
Right, yes, for sure. So here's what the offer is for you. This is for no cost, no charge, no obligation. It's simply an invitation to have a conversation. Maybe this is the right thing for you to be doing right now to refi your retirement. Take a look at what you have and see how you might be able to put yourself in a better financial situation. So Glenn and the team of Big Financial Services would love to be able to meet with you, review what you have, and also provide you with a complimentary written financial plan. To schedule yours, all you need to do is call the number on the bottom of your screen, 888-503-7408. Or if you'd like to connect online, you can simply scan that QR code and that will get you connected as well. We'll be back with more right after this.
Do you currently own an annuity? Are you aware of what type of annuity you own? For years, annuities have been a cornerstone of retirement planning, but they're not all created equal, and unfortunately, your current annuity may not be serving your retirement goals as planned. The good news is that rising interest rates could mean better guarantees in some cases, as well as better benefits for you. In short, more income, possibly in the future. Is your annuity up to date with the new market conditions? You see, I like to look at annuities similar to like a CD in a bank. The last 10, 15 years, you were lucky to get 1% on a CD, but today if you go into a bank, they're much, much higher, which means that you may be able to get better interest rates on your annuities with better benefits, better rates, better guarantees, better income for your family. So please sit down with us, schedule a time to see if your old annuity measures up to the new annuities that are available. Call now for your complimentary annuity review. We look forward to hearing from you. Did you know Uncle Sam might be your partner in retirement? It's true. If you have a 401k, if you have an IRA, a pension, or other similar retirement accounts, they're all tax targets. But how much? To get an easy-to-use tax calculator and to find out your potential tax liability, scan the QR code or go to bigtaxbill.com.
Welcome back to the Big Money Show. I'm Kristen Oakley here with the president of Big Financial Services, Glenn Cummings. If you're just joining us, we are talking today all about refinancing your retirement. What does that mean? And specifically, what could it mean for you? And really, at the end of the day, this conversation is how you might be able to put yourself in a better situation financially in the future. That's what it's all about. And after all, better is just better, right, Glenn?
Better is better of always, in my opinion, right? So we're always looking to better our client's position, period, right?
Right.
So we talked about how some of these interest rates, because they're higher, are generally generating more returns for the life insurance company or profits. And those life insurance companies are also providing more benefits. So an example. Had a few clients that are taking income. They turn on an income stream from their annuity, not an immediate annuity. It's called a deferred fixed indexed annuity with a rider, okay? So there's still some money inside of it. If they pass away, it goes to their kids, right? Depending on how long they live, right? They could spend every dollar in the contract, and if they do that, they still get the checks. Isn't that nice, right? You guys know a plan out there like that?
Yeah.
Give us a call, we'll share it with you, right? But on the other side, when I look at market risk, right, and I look at the overall stock market, many of us understand that anything can happen that can create a big crash.
Yes. Yeah.
Anything that can happen. If it's COVID, right? If it's 2008.
Those black swan events that we
The black swan events, 2000. I mean, politically what's going on? We've got wars all over the world that are going on right now. And I think it's going to be something like that that's going to cause a panic. And when we all panic, guess what happens? Everyone ends up selling. When you sell, your portfolios can go down so quickly.
Right.
The benefits of an annuity, say a fixed annuity or a fixed indexed annuity, is those do provide guarantees from market risk. So if I were to purchase a fixed annuity, it'd be similar to a CD. I get a fixed rate of return for a period of time.
Right.
Okay, my money grows tax deferred if it's non-qualified money, or if it's IRA money, I can put an IRA into that as well. Okay, that's a fixed annuity. A fixed indexed annuity has the opportunity to participate in different indexes that may mimic like an S&P 500 or a Dow Jones.
Right.
Of course, they have limits, caps, margins, spreads, some other things that you don't get the full upside
Right.
of those indexes,
gains,
of
right.
those gains, but whatever index gains you get are locked in on your anniversary date. So if you have $1 million, it goes to, say it makes 8%. $1,080,000, right, is now locked in. So that gain is called retain your gains. So once that gain is locked in, if the stock market crashes the next day, you still have the same amount of money, right? So a lot of us don't realize that, if I lose 50% of my money, I've got to make generally double that in returns the next year just to recoup what I've lost.
Right. Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
So if I look at one of these fixed indexed contracts and my gains are locked in and all of a sudden the markets are down here next year, I still have the same amount of money. Most people that are down here in the market have to wait years to get back up to here, where when the market comes back, this annuity is still performing over time.
So you capture some of the upside,
Yep.
but you aren't subjected to any of the downside.
Yes, yes. And in some of these contracts that are fixed indexed, they also have a guaranteed what they call income rider, right? That can give you a guaranteed rate of return. So even if the stock market goes up and down, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So you see the future income stream that you can elect to turn on as an individual or as a joint with you and your spouse. That also can double generally for long-term care cost if you qualify, right? So there's all kinds of different strategies that we're going to share with you. I may provide an example to you and you may say, Glenn, no, I'm going to stay all in the stock market. I believe the stock market is going to provide me better growth over time. I have enough money. I want to stay there. Okay. You're the boss.
Right.
This is just something to share with you. You don't have to do
the
this.
options. I mean, that is your role as a fiduciary who has that legal and ethical obligation to serve your client's best interests, is to present the different options available.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, you don't work for anyone other than your client.
Yes.
And you are then empowered to make the best decision possible for you. I think that's a key difference in the context of this conversation.
Key difference. And when I look at people like the one I was explaining earlier, every one of the clients, right, that we've helped, okay, so we've done an evaluation on their current annuity. We've reviewed it, we've looked at it, we've shopped the marketplace to see what's better out there. And every one of them that's taking income from their annuities is getting a big raise. Okay, so my job's been pretty easy over the last year, okay, to call a client and say, by the way, instead of making this much money per month, you got a 20 or 30% raise to your income.
Who doesn't love that, right?
That's why I have the sneakers on today.
Right, you've been running.
I've been running like nuts, okay? And the clients are running in too. They've got sneakers on to take advantage of some of these things,
Yes,
right?
yep.
But many of you are at home and you're like, gosh, I've got those old contracts stuck in a drawer somewhere. And I get the annual statement and I don't really understand this stuff. And I've never talked to the guy that sold it to me. He sold me this thing years ago. I never even have a conversation with this guy. He's never here to help me. Come into the office. Bring your pile of stuff with you. I don't care what it is. Life insurance, investment statements, annuities, no matter what it is, bring it in and let's look at it. But also, the other thing I want people to be aware of and be concerned with, in my opinion, is variable annuities.
Yes.
Right?
Oh,
so
yes. Yeah.
variable annuities, some of them may have an income rider, which will provide guaranteed income in the future. But a lot of them, your cash that's in the contract or in your accumulation or surrender value could have market risk. So you really don't have that retaining your gain benefit.
Well, because yes, it participates in some of the upside, but it also participates in the downside. And those are the annuities that often have very high fees because they're wrapped inside of mutual funds.
Yes.
And guess what? Even if you're losing money, you still have to pay that large fee. And a lot of people are shocked when they
Yeah.
learn just how much money they're losing in fees alone.
Absolutely. But some variable annuities, may provide better growth than, say, a fixed or fixed index because
There's
it's
a trade-off.
It's a
Yeah.
trade-off. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
invested in the market, right? But if you want some protection pieces,
Yeah.
right, look at fixed or fixed index contracts because some of those can provide those things for you, just as what I call a bond alternative, right? So if I'm investing in the stock market and I'm investing in mutual funds, a lot of times they recommend bonds, right? So bonds are a debt obligation from the issuer, right? So an example, Amazon has stock, we're buying the stock. Amazon needs to raise money to build a facility up the street to make sure they can deliver packages to your front door.
Right.
Okay. And that facility, they don't want to dilute their stock by raising this $50 million by selling more of Amazon stock. Amazon says, we're a pretty safe bet. We're going to go ahead and we're going to offer a bond offering that's going to pay you 4 or 5% over the next 5 or 6 years. You get paid first if the company goes belly up because you're a debt obligation. So a lot of people use bonds as a safety position. But if I buy one of those a couple of years ago at 2% and now the bond rates are 5%, I want to get out of that. I want to make a higher return. So then I have to discount the value of my bond, right?
Right.
Just to go buy a higher interest rate bond, right?
Yeah.
So there's risk there. That's where fixed or fixed index annuities can provide a bond alternative because it provides true guarantees to your principal and protection from market risk.
Wow.
In some cases.
You have done such a great job of explaining this. And I just know that the light bulb is going off for some folks. And so if that's you, if you're going, you know what, I hadn't even heard of these options before, but they're sounding attractive to you, and you know that you need to look and see what might potentially put you in a better financial situation. This is why Glenn and the team of Big Financial Services would love to be able to meet with you and deliver to you your complimentary written financial plan. 888-503-7408 is the number to call to schedule yours. Or again, you're also welcome to scan that QR code and that will get you connected as well. Stay with us. We've got more for you right after this.
So if you're close to retirement, that's pretty awesome, right? But a lot of people that I meet with can already retire. They think I've got another 4 or 5 year window before I can retire, right? And the reason why is they haven't sat down. They haven't budgeted everything of what they're going to need. You need to sit down with someone that can help you with planning for that retirement. Because once you retire, you lose a job. We've got to make up that job with income from somewhere. And we want to make sure that income can last, right? The rest of our lives. That's a very important thing. So sitting down with a professional, not only me, but shop around. Just make sure that they build a plan for you that you can review and feel comfortable with. Building those plans is very, very important. And that way it gives you some kind of peace to it, and that's what most of us want to know is when can we retire? Well, there's all kinds of different tools that are available out there, and it's working with someone that knows all the tools. Did you ever think that your own retirement would be shared with our government? It's true, your 401k, IRA, pension, or other similar retirement accounts are in partnership with good old Uncle Sam. Simply put, they want their tax dollars and you have them. With our latest tax calculator, you can plug in your own number while sitting at home. To find out what your future tax liability may be, simply scan the QR code or go to bigtaxbill.com.
Welcome back to the Big Money Show, where today Glenn and I have been discussing refinancing your retirement, what that means, what it could mean for you. And really, it's all about potentially putting yourself in a better financial situation, taking advantage of where interest rates are today before the Fed comes down on interest rates, which we don't know when they're going to do it. We just know it's very likely it's going to happen now that we're in 2025. And, interesting, you were talking earlier about a lot of the benefits, right, of some of these fixed indexed annuities in particular. It struck me that there's an important transition that happens as folks are facing retirement, and that is that at a certain point, chasing those huge gains don't help you as much as a large loss could absolutely devastate you. And I think that that's the fear, right? You know, when folks only have money in their IRAs, their 401ks, invested in the stock market, all of that money is subjected to risk. And when it runs out, it's gone. It's not going to keep paying you for the rest of your life.
It's gone. It's gone. And that's why we like to share with you other alternatives to provide that income, right? And as you mentioned, billions of dollars per year have been purchased in annuities because in my opinion, what I've seen in these plans has gotten so much better than when I first started this years ago.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting. I think that 2022 really sparked a lot of that.
Sure
because
did.
Folks who thought they were invested more conservatively were invested more heavily in bonds, thinking that bonds were going to give them this type of security. They found out real quick that what?
It's not going to, because interest rates can cause issues with yields and bond values, and you have to, some you may have to hold to maturity. And, you know, so this is all very, very important. And our analysis that we do for folks will include an annuity review analysis. It'll include a portfolio analysis. It'll include your taxes, right? It'll include your longevity risk. It'll include long-term care, right? It includes all of those things that many of you are not really, you know, it's like I said, it's a can of worms sometimes because a lot of people that may be in their retirement, that you're getting enough income, you feel okay. You know, you're not looking at another one, inflation, right? And or market risk, right? So, you know, if you have another 2000 or a 2008, it's going to happen at some point, I believe. When that happens, it's catastrophic in a lot of cases. How many of us plan for a hurricane, but we don't want one to come? How many of us Floridians had to deal with recent hurricanes? How about California wildfires, right? Catastrophes can come. Your retirement savings can be affected by this. Sit down with a professional that can share with you other ideas that may help improve your retirement.
Yes, and we've said this on the show before, but the reality is you can't get a second opinion from the same person who gave you the first. So I know you will be more than happy to review existing annuity contracts, review someone's financial situation, see what they have going on, and then see how you could potentially help them make it even better, right?
Absolutely, and sometimes we'll look over people's stuff and they're in great things. We part ways, shake hands, and we're always available for them in the future. But have a second opinion, have a review. We love to meet with each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being beautiful and doing a great job on the show again today. Everyone's going to call in and ask for you. Thanks a lot.
Well, it's a joy to get to do this with you and to serve this wonderful community. And we appreciate you watching. Again, that number to call so that you can schedule your complimentary written financial plan, 888-503-7408. We'll see you next time here on The Big Money Show.